good, right?
Yeah, no, and I didn't even realize that this was actually awesome.
London 56. Hi everyone, my name is Geoffrey and I'm here joined with
Daniel, and my in-game name is Miamiphins.
And we're here eating some Jurassic Grill food and talking a little bit about what you do here, why you're here at University of Illinois, and what you do for IE. So to start off with, what do you actually do for IE?
So I'm the community coordinator for Rainbow Six. I'm going to be scheduling events for us to meet up, kind of grow the community, have some trivia nights maybe, really make it fun, you know, get people engaged. But I haven't had the chance to do that yet because I joined on when we were virtual, and so it's going to be cool to transition into meeting people again and seeing people back on campus. I also play for the team and help schedule matches and whatnot, and I did that pre-pandemic, so I've had a little bit of that experience before, and I think that's going to be, you know, helpful in moving forward to community events.
Yeah, that's really great to hear from you. So, what do you actually do here at the University of Illinois, though?
So I'm in the College of Media. I'm a journalism major, and I, just take classes like everybody else. Grind it out. It's tough.
For sure.
But I don't do a ton of stuff outside of IE, mainly just IE, so I can put all my focus into that in classes, and yeah.
For sure, great to hear. So again, we're here eating Jurassic Grill food. So again, you chose the food, so can you tell me a bit about the food and why you really like to eat there?
Yeah, so the best part is that there's this expansive menu, as you can see all the different things laid out here, but on top of that, they're open really late. For us gamers, you know that many places are not open past midnight, so you got to find somewhere that will give you something that's both good, deliverable, and open late, and this is all those, so love it.
Yeah, for sure. So let's dine in.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a bit about yourself, about like where you came from before University of Illinois?
Yeah, so I grew up in a town 15 minutes south of Champaign called Tolono, Illinois, and I went to a high school. It's called Unity. It's kind of a combination of 5 towns, so we weren't very big. Had a graduating class of a little over 100 kids, so a lot different than what some people do if I might experience, but then again, you know, it was still a good time, and it prepared me well for the U of I. So.
Yeah, that's really cool. Again, I'm kind of a townie, so we play against Unity all the time. It's really cool.
Yeah, from Uni and stuff.
For sure.
Uni and Unity always getting confused in the school closings for snow days. So
yeah, that's really funny. So did you really like growing up there? Again, you said it was really small. Did you like that small aspect, or did it really bother you?
It was definitely, there was, 2 sides to it. There's always the everybody knows a little bit about you side, which can be good, but can be bad when, it's just a little bit too personal with everybody. But at the same time, it is nice to have that small town. There's more that you can kind of do on your own. You can go out into the country and hang out. You can fish. You can do some stuff. And we weren't very far away from Champaign, so we could always come up and do something in a bigger city if we needed to. But I think personally I'm more of a big city guy, and I can see myself staying in a town instead, so I like it.
Cool. So again, you are a really good R6 player, right? And again, I would like to think that you are really good. At least I watch you guys' game, right? You guys perform pretty well. So can you tell me a little bit about how you got into video games? What was that spark of joy, spark of love?
So I would say that I've always played video games, and it kind of more used to be sports games like MLB, Madden, all that kind of stuff. And I've just put tons of hours into those, And then I started to get a little bit more into shooters, played some COD, some Halo, but I don't know, I just kind of like playing games in general, and that story aspect, and like being able to play a character and all that, and that kind of just developed. And as I got into college, I met a group of friends through my program at Parkland. One of their names is Jesse, and Jesse convinced me to build a computer, so I built a computer so I could play games with him. He talked me into the first game that we played. My very first keyboard and mouse game was Rainbow Six, and I've just kind of kept playing it since then, and I continued it on. So.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear. Again, you told me that you started off with that story aspect. So do you really enjoy now that you play a lot of competitive games, the competitive aspect of R6?
Yeah, and that's where kind of the Madden and the MLB and stuff comes into play with this too, is that there was always that competition. You were always going up against someone, and now I'm doing that still, but I'm going up against schools and other teams, and it's cool because as a kid, you know, you always look up and you're like, man, the basketball team's awesome. Going to a game, you know, in front of so many thousands of people, and they're crazy game, Big Ten game, and we're doing the same thing just on a smaller scale. You know, we're playing Michigan State, we're playing Minnesota, and there's competition there, but you know, at the end of the day, we're also all out there having fun.
Yeah, it's always a blast watching you guys, right? Me and my couple of friends like to watch all the IE games as a group, so it's really fun to cheer you guys on and beat these Michigan States and all the other colleges, right, universities, right? Yeah. So, what actually brought you to join IE though? Like when you told me that you went to Parkland, right? You transferred. Now you're at the University of Illinois. Was there a reason? Why?
So once I started playing video games a little more often while I was at Parkland, getting into Rainbow, you know, you climb the ranks a little bit. You start to think, maybe I'm okay at this. Maybe I could play. And then I didn't even really know that college esports was all that big. I wasn't really sure what the scale was. But I had a friend at Illinois State who played on Illinois State's Rainbow Six team. And he was like, oh yeah, Illinois got a team, so when you transfer there, you should look into it. So my first quad day, I found the IE booth, joined the Discord server, and applied for tryouts, and here I am.
Cool. That's really good to hear. So from a person who's still studying in college, right, how do you juggle that from like juggling your, I guess you have practices, right? Juggling your practices, juggling your classes. How do you manage to do so?
Man, it is difficult sometimes, I'll tell you what. Especially, you know, as you gain more responsibility within the club, you know, being a community coordinator, trying to plan events, attend meetings, visit office hours with professors if you're struggling, you know, fitting all that in together, it's tough. And I also work outside of this too, so balancing that is all really difficult. But I think the biggest help is that a lot of our things are very planned, so you can kind of make time in advance. You know, it's like we have practice every day at this, or every day of every week at this time, or every competition's on a Friday at 7 o'clock or whatever. So I know I need to be free at these times, and that helps a little bit. But ultimately, it's just, you know, trying to stay as organized as possible.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you for sure. So can you like walk me through like one day of like practice? Do you guys like, what do you guys actually do to get better to compete at this high level of competition?
So a big thing that we do is just play in, so in Siege it's 5v5s. So a big thing we do is just play in a 5-man stack and go online against random people. And instead of just kind of like playing like you normally would in a ranked team, we try and treat it like it's comp, and we'll, you know, bring our strategy into the match and try it against random people from wherever in the US that don't even play comp. So maybe they'll throw some wrinkle at us that we haven't seen before, and we'll have to adjust to that. And so it's a good way to like test out what you got with like less pressure, less stress, but there's still a little bit of pressure because your rank's on the line. So we do a lot of that. We also go through what's called terrorist hunts in Rainbow Six. It's just you go up against bots and you run through a map so that you can learn the map, learn the call-outs, learn how to push together, but you're not going up against anybody, so it's not as stressful. And then another thing that we do is, that's I think probably the most helpful, is watch pro leagues, learn their strats, and watch our videos, our VODs, and go through them, talk about like, hey, this round at such and such time, you know, you were in this room, we could have used you on this room, like see how this guy rotates, and and you're able to see from the spectator view where everybody's at, so you can map it out and talk about like where you need to be next time, and it's helpful going over the video for sure. That's probably the number one to adjust strategy.
Cool. So for like a fan like me, how do I like keep track of like R6? So like how do I support you guys when you guys are playing?
Well, I guess the big thing is this semester we're going to try and have a lot of our streams through the main IE account, as opposed to in the past it's kind of come from player to player account. So hopefully it'll be a little easy to follow that way. We'll post the link right to the main IE Discord. Everybody that's interested can go to the channel and follow it. In addition to that, it's typically something to keep in mind for people is it's pretty long. So don't worry if the team gets down 3-0. There's always time to rally back.
Yeah,
it's a best of 7 rounds.
Happens more than you think.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So you can fall behind and come back, but it's a long amount of time, so people can pop in for 20 minutes and leave, come in at the end, come in at the start. There's a lot of ways to check it out.
Cool. Yeah, I'm really excited to come support you guys out for this year. So do you have any like funny, great memories that you guys had on the team? Because again, you said you played for a while now, right, on IE's team?
Yeah. I think that probably, let's see, good memory. Something that was pretty funny. It wasn't funny at the start of the memory. Was we went from getting swept like 7-0, 7-0, you know, just complete blown out, and we're like, well, man, we're terrible. This is gonna be bad. We gotta, you know, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And then the next week we won 14-0.
Oh,
wow. So we just did a total reverse sweep, and it was really rewarding to be like, okay, well, maybe, you know, we're not the worst of the worst here, and like, you know, it's just like when and then there's a couple times too where like it's the team that blew us way out, we'd go back and play them later and we'd win, or we'd be way closer, and so it's like things like that are always great memories to like, oh man, remember when we like came back and clutched that round up, or, you know, a round clutch where you're a 1v3 is always fun. There's so many of those that it's hard to count. It's really fun. Yeah,
I love this like comeback story, right? It's a really good storytelling device. It's also really cool to track someone who like may be down, but they're, you know, they're still there to fight, right? Because they're gonna come back, and you're not gonna feel pretty bad about it, and you're gonna work towards it and come back to a 14-0 week. That's really crazy and cool to hear. All right, that will be it for now for our IE interview. So again, my name is Geoffrey, and
my name is Daniel. Miamiphins. Check us out in the Rainbow Six matches.
Yeah, so we'll catch you guys in the next one. See you guys.